Happy Thursday morning, Miami Dolphins fans. It is a new day in South Florida as Jeff Halfley and Jon-Eric Sullivan are officially going to be announced and introduced as Dolphins head coach and Dolphins GM. It's been a quicker process than most people thought. I mean, Jon-Eric Sullivan was hired in the first week of the offseason, only about 5 days after the Sunday Week 18 game as the next GM. And then it took about a week and a half after that, this past Monday, to announce Jeff Halfley as the next Miami Dolphins head coach. And both of those two will be at the podium today alongside Stephen Ross, answering questions, giving their thoughts on where this team may go. I think we're going to find out a lot about potential moves this offseason. I wouldn't expect a ton, but I do expect to find out today that Jeff Halfley is going to be the signal caller for the Dolphins defense this year. I have heard some rumblings he is going to call defensive plays. I hope that is the case because he has been a really phenomenal play caller over the last 2 years with the Green Bay Packers. I also am going to be intrigued to see how Jon-Eric Sullivan answers questions from the media, because you know he's going to be asked about Tua and his contract this offseason. How is he going to respond to that? You know he has a premeditated response. I'll be intrigued to hear what that is. There's going to be a lot that we learned today in this press conference, and I'm going to be excited to hear both of these two speak today to the media, and we'll have that here live on the channel in hopefully about 12 minutes, all depending on if the Dolphins are actually punctual tonight with this live stream. But shout out your city for me down in the comment section. Where are the real ones watching from as we wait for this press conference to get underway? We got Ruski in the building. We got Slay and Cat. What's up, AJ? We got Sharp. What's up, man? We got CEO. Says this should have been Chris Shula. Well, it's not, so going to have to deal with it. Slay and Cat in Miami. Lamar in Suffolk, Virginia. Lil Bad in Alabama. Kevin, Dade County. We got Building Fins Up in Connecticut. Fort Myers, Carroll City, Tampa, Florida, Syracuse, New York. Stay safe up there with the 2 feet of snow coming this weekend, something like that. We got Soto in Melbourne, Florida. We got John Reyes in San Bernardino, California, Boone, Colorado, Kentucky, Scranton, PA, Miami Lakes, Pembroke Pines, Los Angeles, Germany, Vero Beach, Chicago, Navarre, Texas, North Carolina. Wow, look at all the different real ones coming in, hanging out with us. I hope you guys are excited for this press conference as much as I am. I know it's ridiculous to say that I'm excited for a press conference, but that's the truth. It really is, because I think we've seen when Chris Grier spoke to the media the last 10 years, when we saw Mike McDaniel speak to the media every week, asked about injury news and other stuff during the season, like, when Mike speaks, not to be mean, but you don't feel confident, right? A lot of ums, a lot of buts, not a lot of conviction. And I get it. Some people aren't the best public speakers. I don't claim to be. I mean, you see me speak every day here on the channel, but if I was in front of, let's say, 500 people in person, it would be a little bit of a different story, right? There'd be a little bit more nerves attached. You still need someone to provide you confidence when he speaks to the media every single week as your head coach. I think Jeff Halfley does that at a very high level. So at least there will be that, right? I'm excited to see what he says, what Jon-Eric Sullivan says, and this new era of Dolphins football. It's going to be rough, I think, the next couple of years. The Dolphins cap situation is brutal. Shout out Chris Grier. Not a lot of good young players either, if we're going to be honest. Shout out Chris Grier. There was actually a stat, by the way, based off PFF weighted impact and grades, the Dolphins had the worst rookie draft class this year. It's like, of course, right? Chris Grier's parting gift. Nonetheless, I'm excited to see a new era of football get underway in Miami. Hopefully you are as well. Scale 1 to 10. How excited are you? I'm at a 10 because, let's be real, it can't get any worse. The Dolphins haven't won a playoff game in 25 years. I get it. They made the playoffs 3 times under Chris Grier the last decade, and we're fighting for the division in 2022 and 2023, but they didn't win anything. 2 playoff appearances don't mean crap to me. It all matters about getting wins. So I'm excited to see a new era, a new way of building a team, a new way of thinking, a new way of drafting. That's the part that Jon-Eric Sullivan intrigues me the most. So I'm at a 10. We got David at an 8, BR at 6.5, Sling Cat 7.5, CEO says 4, Tyson says 10. Yeah, like the worst draft of the year, unbelievable, was the Miami Dolphins. Kenneth Grant got better as the year went on, but not good at the beginning. Jonas Savignaya was the worst guard in football. Nice. Second-round pick we traded up to go get. Jordan Phillips was fine, solid. Ollie Gordon was fine, solid. But just not a lot of impact from your rookies. And that just needs to change. You need to be better at drafting. There's no way you can be a sustained, successful franchise in the NFL without hitting on your draft picks. You can't live on signing people and making trades. You got to hit on your draft picks. You got to develop. You got to keep them around. Got to build the trenches. I'm excited. And hopefully these two bring us to that area. And then we're going to welcome in Jack Lotteray. No Coop with us today. Shout out Lotteray coming in here. He has a ton of experience working these live stream press conferences that we got going on today. Coop's also in late with a Mavericks watch party. But Jack, you've been on the channel quite a bit, so some Dolphins fans may recognize you. Appreciate you coming in and helping us here on this morning live edition of Dolphins Today. But I also want to ask the people here, who do you trust more, the new GM, Jon-Eric Sullivan, or the new head coach, Jeff Halfey? What's up, Jack?
I'm feeling good, man. I'm happy to be here. I, as you said, have a little bit of experience on this channel, so it's nice to be back to see everybody that's been here for a while. I'm excited for this new era. I think anytime you can get fresh faces, new ideas, anything, with a team that's kind of middled out and struggled, look, I'm just gonna say it. The Dolphins haven't been great over the past few years. They've kind of struggled. So to get some new ideas, some new faces is always exciting. So I'm very excited for the Dolphins. Let's see how they do. I think they got some good pieces. Like if they can put it together, they can compete in the East. Maybe.
I wouldn't go that far.
If
Buffalo is imploding, that's very nice. But
if
you're Patriots, I don't want to out you. But
it's a big caveat. If they can put it together, maybe they compete a little bit. Yes, the Patriots in the AFC Championship look pretty good. We'll see what happens there. But look, you can always be hopeful and excited, and we'll see what happens. But happy to be here. Let's have a good one.
Yeah, let's have a good time. Let's react. I see a lot of people saying Jon-Eric Sullivan is who they're more confident in, the new GM. That's actually our live poll as well. 75% of the votes are for Jon-Eric Sullivan, the GM. I would agree. I do think there is a higher likelihood that Jon-Eric Sullivan is a better GM than Jeff Halfey is a head coach. But who knows? It's all a guessing game. You can do your research on their upbringings, who they learned underneath, how they fared in their roles in the past, whether it be an assistant coach, a head coach at college, a player personnel, a scout. Like, you can do your research and see how well they did then, but there's no way to tell they're going to be good as an NFL head coach or an NFL GM until you actually see the moves they make, the draft picks they do, the game plans, the coaching. So it's all crapshoot and guessing how well these guys actually perform in their roles they were hired to do. But the optimism that I have certainly favors Jon-Eric Sullivan. Couple super chats to get to. If you want to get on the live show, do subscribe and make sure you comment, but also super chat guarantees you a spot like this. Shout out my guy BPU, building fins up, a Hall of Famer with a $5 super chat. Like the video. I agree, over 200 people here with us as we wait for this press conference to get underway. We will have the full video, so stay tuned for that. Hit that thumbs up icon. Let's get over to 100 likes. Let's get 50% like right here. Bosses are asking for it. We're about 50 away from 100. Hit that thumbs up icon. My guy M Sports Review. He's actually a Packers fan, by the way. M Sports Review. He's a legend. He watches our Heat channel. He hangs out with me a couple times over there. He's a Packers fan. He says, I know a lot of Fins fans aren't excited, but as a Packers fan, Jon-Eric Sullivan knows how to build a team, and Hafley will blow everyone away in his press conference. There's a Packers fan laying in. Listen, for the Dolphins fans that were a little bit skeptical of bringing in Jeff Halfey as head coach, I get it. Didn't have the most success at Boston College. Not an easy place to win, by the way. But here is the truth. Packers fans, Lions fans, Vikings fans, Bears fans. all 4 NFC North fan bases were all disappointed, if you're a Packers fan, and elated, if you're the other 3, that Jeff Halfley is leaving the division and going to be the head coach of the Miami Dolphins, because all 4 fan bases recognized how good of a defensive coordinator Jeff Halfley was in Green Bay the past 2 years. Now, does that mean he's going to be a good head coach? No. But when you have fan bases celebrating one of the teams in the division losing a coordinator because he got a head coaching gig, that provides me with some confidence that he is at least someone who is highly thought of around the NFL. So I am optimistic about Jeff Halfley. Am I guaranteeing he's going to be good? I've said this a lot. No, but I'm optimistic. Jonathan Soda with a $2 super chat. I feel as if they are going to make a great combo. Well, we've talked about this a ton here on the channel ever since the hiring was announced. The aligned vision is something that I'm very excited about, right? Jon-Eric Sullivan prioritizes the draft. That is how he wants to build his team. He says it, the draft is your lifeblood. You build your foundation. You build your culture by making the right draft picks, by taking people that are the right fits, are the right people to instill a culture and a standard inside your locker room. And then you supplement that through the draft. Well, you hear Jeff Halfley speak about how he wanted to build out his program at Boston College when he was the head coach there, and it's a lot of the same things. So the two worked together for 2 years in Green Bay. A misconception is that they're friends. They never knew each other until they started working together 2 years ago. So Jon-Eric Sullivan just believes Halfley's the right man for the job. They both think the same way in terms of how they want to build out this locker room and build out the Dolphins roster. I think they're going to be a good combo. I like that there's an aligned vision on how to build out a football team between the two, so I hope it works out. But we do got almost 300 people watching. Like we said, hit that thumbs up icon if you are ready for the press conference start. Let's get to 100 likes right now. We're at 55. We're 45 away from 100. Come on, help me out. Let's get that like number up here, folks, as we're hopefully under 2 minutes away. We got the press conference pulled up. They say live in 2 minutes. We'll see if it's truthful or not here. We see if it's truthful or not. But hit that thumbs up icon. Subscribe if you haven't already as well. I don't disagree with you there, CEO. Certainly an offensive coordinator. That hire is going to be very important. If you did not see my tweet and if you did not see my YouTube short I put out, the Dolphins did request an interview with Texans quarterback coach Jerrod Johnson this morning. First reported OC interview request. There will be multiple put in. We've talked about Brian Angelico, who is the Vikings pass game coordinator and tight end coach as an option. We'll see if they try to take anyone from the Packers coaching staff. Connor Lewis, Lou Getsy, Jason Vrabel, Sean Mannion. Those will definitely come in as we come in here. Lost Tecto says, are we going to watch the press conference? Yes, we're going to actually have the video on today's live show, which hopefully starts in about 30 seconds. But let's get to 100 likes. 15 away. Come on, let's get to that triple-digit like number here. We're going to have the press conference on the live show, and then we are going to have some reactions, takeaways, maybe even do a Q&A after if that's something you guys are interested in. And then later today, we'll have a full video out of some takeaways and quotes, reactions from these two guys speaking. It's a big day in Dolphins history with these two guys being introduced to the fans and the media. So it'll be fun. It'll be fun to see. It is officially the top of the hour. Let's see if we get this puppy underway. Who knows? Who knows how punctual the Dolphins are, right? Doesn't seem like they are ready to go here, but we got a lot of people in the building. I like that they always do this press conference inside the training facility, right? They bring in the wall. They do it on the practice field. Yeah, we're not live just yet. We're close. We're close. I always get cracked up over this, Jack, when you have like a time of, oh, here's the press conference, but then the stream doesn't start. Listen, I'm not even asking for the press conference for the people to be speaking at exactly 10 a.m. or 11 a.m. Just go to the feed. Go to the feed. I'll guarantee almost that the feed will start and they'll already be talking. That's kind of how I feel like this always goes. But once 10 a.m. hits, or that's Central Time, 11 a.m. Eastern Time, we got to have that. Got to have that. Right, yeah, it should. Yeah. They have not. They have not. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, make sure you follow Rolly on Twitter. He's going to be tweeting out his thoughts and reactions to this while it's going on. So make sure you follow. Nic on Twitter. Don't miss out.
I absolutely will. So make sure you do follow. Apparently, there's some Dolphins at the press conference. Malik Washington, Kenneth Grant, Jordan Phillips, Jonas Savinaya, Kader Kohu, and Jason Maitre all at the press conference today. Now, is that them being there on purpose? I want to think of it more as they're probably just in the building, either working out or rehabbing, and then they just happen to come over to watch the press conference. But fascinating that those young guys are at the presser. Shout out to Keep It 100 podcast. This is, I think, my guy CEO with a $2 super chat. Appreciate you, my friend. And then M Sports Review again, $5 super chat. Sullivan was in the front office when Rodgers and Love were drafted. Hafley is a wonderful locker room presence. Yeah, like that is something that I think Jon-Eric Sullivan will obviously be tasked to do. And that's going to be his biggest role. Who does he find as the next Miami Dolphins quarterback after Tua? Whether it's in the draft, free agency, or on the trade market, because Jeff Halfley is a defensive guy. There's no kind of going around that. So he's not going to have a lot of input on who Miami next QB1 is. That is going to be entirely up to the front office, Jon-Eric Sullivan, and potentially the next offensive coordinator for the Miami Dolphins. So it's going to be very important that JS, or Sully as we like to call him, finds that guy. Oh, yeah. Listen, this is not something that is Dolphins related. This happens across the league all the time. But if you're ready for the press conference, hit that sub button. Under 80 away from 80K. Be a great milestone here as we continue to wait for this to officially get started. Shout out to Kyle Anders for the follow on Twitter. Oh, man. Just continuing to wait. I'll say this. I've actually produced some of these press conference streams that we've done in the past on different channels, like our Chicago Bears channel, which does it very frequently. They never show up on time. It doesn't matter what organization it is, what the reason is for the press conference. I'm telling you right now, they never show up on time. Someone wants us to do a tape breakdown of Trinidad Chambliss. I don't even know if he's going to be in the draft. This guy's applying and suing the NCAA trying to get a 6th year. I don't even want him just because of that. That's God's honest truth. I don't even want Trinidad Chambliss, even if he ends up being good, because the dude doesn't think he's NFL ready. I know. I just want to try. Yeah, maybe I do it enough, he'll start. Yeah, not very good. Fernando Mendoza's going to the Raiders at number 1, and the rest kind of bad. I compare this to the 2022 NFL draft class, which ironically has Malik Willis in it, who's very rumored to be the next Dolphins quarterback. I don't know. But, like, I compare it to the... I compare this quarterback class to the 2022. Like, Fernando Mendoza obviously is like a very worthy top 5 pick in the draft, top 10 guy. But you take Fernando Mendoza away from this draft class as quarterback spot, like the next best quarterback is Ty Simpson. The number 1 quarterback in 2022 is Kenny Pickett. Those two are very similar. Like, I couldn't tell you who's a better prospect between Pickett and Ty Simpson. I actually might lean Ty Simpson. I'm not even a big Ty Simpson guy, but I was even lower on Kenny Pickett. I think Kenny Pickett stinks. Well, obviously I was right, and this is not 2020 or hindsight here. I said back in the day that he was a bad quarterback. I wasn't working here at the company yet. I started in September of 2022. But I was very much out on Kenny Pickett. I was actually more in on Malik Willis at the time. No joke. I mock drafted. I remember writing an article for my college radio station at the time that Malik Willis, I thought he was going to be a top 10 pick. Did I think he was worthy of one? No, but I believed he was going to be selected. I think it was 9th or 8th overall that year by the Atlanta Falcons. He was not taken in the 3rd round, but I thought he was going to be taken in round 1. I thought Kenny Pickett was not worthy of a first-round pick. I actually should go back and find that article. I can. It's still out there. It's good times. Where Rolly was right. Kenny Pickett stinks. I was actually more in on Sam Howell. Now, I might have been a little bit biased. North Carolina football fan. And obviously, he has not worked out. But Kenny Pickett hasn't either. So none of them are good from that class. Actually, the only person that's good from that class is Brock Purdy, who was taken in the 7th round. Him and Willis, 2022. I'll say this, and you might have heard Jack there say that next year's quarterback class can be better than this year's, which is probably going to be. But we also said that for 2026. Not that it would be better than 2025, but we kind of also did. It was like outside of Cam Ward, is there that many good guys at the rookie class? But everyone was like, oh, in 2026, you're going to have Arch Manning potentially coming out. You're going to have Lenore Sellers, Garrett Nussmeier, Cade Klubnik, Drew Aller. These guys all stink. Yeah. Yeah, Lenore Sellers forced to come out. Omar Kelly tweeting out, Dolphins players are showing up to the press conference, which we talked about some of the guys that are there. Kenneth Grant, Jonas Avinaya, Malik Washington, Kader Kohu. He says it's a first for me, and I've been here for 7 coaches. I just feel as if that can't be true. You're telling me in the past no player currently on the roster showed up for like Mike McDaniel or Brian Flores? Like, come on. That feels hard. To me, I got to be honest. If I lived in Miami and I wasn't just there for the season and I was on the team, I would show up. Why not? Introduce yourself for the first time. Say, Coach, nice to meet you. Yeah, like not even to the point of sucking up, but like I think it's just the right thing to do. Like, if you're living in Miami, like, why wouldn't you want to show up? I give a couple players some slack for not showing up. Like Tua. I wouldn't show up if I was Tua in that scenario. Here we go. It says it's starting. The Dolphins just tweeted out the link. There we go. We're live, baby. Press conference about to start soon. Barry Jackson just tweeted out that Troy Aikman is there at the press conference. I like that a lot. He was obviously a consultant on the GM and head coaching search, and it was reported. Yeah. Press conference starting soon, but at least here we go. We're live. Let's get to our main man, Stephen Ross. We'll get him here, and you'll have full more natural sign-off from the Miami Dolphins, if you will. Yeah, I mean, Jon-Eric Sullivan was about to say something. He said, I don't know if this is appropriate, but I'm going to say it now. Yeah, I mean, I'm curious to see if anyone's going to tweet out what he said. I don't know. But that certainly was something. Appreciate everybody for watching. Did you see, by the way, and because we had the YouTube stream up, the next thing that popped up after the live stream ended is this stream right here. So maybe they wanted to have people come hang out with us. But that is the press conference. Some real big takeaways here. And we'll go through this on a video here. We still had over 600 people watching. We appreciate you guys. If you have thoughts, questions, comments, use hashtag Dolphins in the live chat or super chat to get your thoughts on screen. Absolutely. But a couple of main takeaways I wanted to get to. Jon-Eric Sullivan said that Stephen Ross told him, if you can't get it done, it's never going to be because of the resources. Thought that was positive there from the owner, Stephen Ross. Other things that really stood out to me, a couple ones that I jotted down. When asked about leaving Boston College, Jeff Halfley said, I left because I wanted to coach football. This guy is a football guy through and through. He also told the story about sleeping in his office for 2 years every day at Pittsburgh. So you can really tell the appreciation that Jeff Halfley has for the game and for coaching and teaching. I'm excited about that a lot. Jon-Eric Sullivan said that Mike McDaniel was an ownership decision in terms of firing him. Now, was that maybe in response to him saying he would like to move on in his first interview? Possibly. But he made it clear that the firing of Mike McDaniel happened prior to Jon-Eric Sullivan's second interview and then where he got offered the job. A lot of people are going to talk about this quote right here. The quarterback position when asked about it. Sully said a lot of respect for Tua. He's accomplished a lot in this league, but he did mention it's hard for me to talk about Tua and what the moves will be with the quarterback position without talking to the guys like Quinn, like Tua. He also mentioned that he believed Quinn did a great job at the end of the year, but he's unable to give you an answer on the quarterback position today. He did say it always starts with the quarterback. Jon-Eric Sullivan this is. But this roster is going to have to be built from the inside out, from the line of scrimmage, to where then you get built around the quarterback. So when you bring that guy in, he's able to have the success protected, not getting hit all the time. Find his receivers on the outside. Excited about that. When Jeff Halfley was speaking about how the offense is going to be handled, since he's a defensive guy, he says, well, I want to build an offense that has given me struggles throughout my time as a defensive play caller. Physical up front, running the football. Allows you to then get under center, a lot of screen plays, play action, attack that second, third level down the football field. He said as well, and this is very important, that he's going to call defensive plays. So Jeff Halfley, as I alluded to, I had a couple people and through conversation over the last 48 hours tell me when talking about Jeff Halfley that he was going to call defensive plays. He officially announced that today. So if you watched our video late Wednesday night, I said Rolly Rumors. Shout out to you guys for watching throughout that entire 15-minute episode. But I said he's going to call defensive plays. That is the truth today. Jon-Eric Sullivan also said today that they're going to draft a quarterback almost every year, if not every other, investing in that position. Whether you hit and get a star quarterback or you get a high-level backup where that breeds competition and then potentially also has trade value. We saw it in Green Bay, right? They've consistently drafted quarterbacks, even when it might not be a need. When it came to Brett Favre and then drafting Aaron Rodgers. When it came to Aaron Rodgers and drafting Jordan Love. You're not going to hit on every quarterback you draft, but if you do, it will set you up for sustained success as well as potential trade value. So excited about that. I mean, there's a lot of takeaways that I have, and we'll come together and have our thoughts more thoroughly. I talk about a word that we used a lot today, thorough, from Sullivan and Half, which they like to be called Half and Sully. So I think we're going to do that quite a bit. But the biggest phrase of the day, in my opinion, and this comes in from Sully, draft, develop, and retain our own. He said that about 4 or 5 different times today. And that is the Green Bay Packer way. And they're going to instill that to the best of their ability to the Miami Dolphins, which I'm very excited about. Because that's something we haven't had in the last 10 years under Chris Grier. What did Chris Grier do? Missed on a lot of draft picks. He hit a couple in the first round, right? He hit on Jalen Waddle. Hit on Devon Acham. That was in day 2. Hit on Minkah Fitzpatrick, Christian Wilkins. There's no denying that. But where Chris Grier came up short was his ability to evaluate talent and draft it at a high level in rounds 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And we saw in Green Bay consistently how much success they have had drafting in the middle rounds. Most of their top draft picks that have built themselves up in Green Bay haven't been first rounders. I'm excited to see that here in Miami. The aligned vision between Hafley and Jon-Eric Sullivan, I think, was showed in a high level today. These guys are close. They are ready and excited to get working together. And I have a lot of optimism for Miami Dolphins football going forward. I really do. I hope you guys feel the same way after watching that press conference. A couple super chats. M Sports Review. Did I call it? Were y'all blown away? I certainly was. I tweeted it out. Both Jon-Eric Sullivan and Jeff Halfley gave opening statements, and then they answered questions. Jon-Eric Sullivan had a more prepared written piece down. Jeff Halfley did not. Half went up to the microphone and said, I'm not someone who scripts things out. I'm not someone who writes down statements of things I want to say. I'm just going to go. That fired me up. This guy's a leader. This guy is confident in who he is as a person, on the vision he wants to bring. And I know it's just a press conference and it's hard to have a lot of knowledge and belief in how things are going to turn out. But I am very confident in who Jeff Halfley is, the way he holds players accountable, how he's going to lead, how he's going to teach. I'm very excited to watch these two men go to work. I am. All right, we got 600 people still watching as we originally had those takeaways from the press conference. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that type of content. We had a good audience here. This is a trial run for us. We've seen other channels here at Chat Sports have the success of doing these press conference takeaways and live shows on Bears, on Raiders, and other channels. If this is something you guys enjoyed and would like more of in the future, we'll certainly do them. So we wanted to do a test run here. And as we still have 500 people watching, we'll stay live. If you guys want to do a mailbag or super chat and ask questions, that's up to you. If you want to move on with the rest of our day and we all move on and go our separate ways on this Thursday, that's fine too. But that's totally up to you guys. If you guys have questions about the press conference, the future of this quarterback position, free agency, the draft, your call. But I'm going to give you guys the opportunity to lead that charge, and then we'll sign off here on today's show. So your call on that. But, man, new era of Miami Dolphins football starts today, and I don't know how you can't watch that press conference of our new GM and new head coach and not come away very fired up and excited about it, right? I'm really excited. Dad, that's a good question. If you want to get on the mailbag, if we do one, hashtag Dolphins. Hashtag Dolphins. But I'll answer real quick. I'm not concerned about Hafley calling plays. Originally, I was a little worried. I was like, first-time head coach, not calling plays might let him ultimately be more consistent everywhere. But as I really thought about it, I think it would be a mistake not to have him, with what he is best at, and that is being a defensive play caller in the NFL, doing that for the Miami Dolphins. Because at that point, you're hurting your team to have someone else call defensive plays if you know you are better at it. If you believe you can handle the day-to-day, the overarching responsibilities of head coach, but also make sure you're calling the defense every single week, then go ahead and do it. I like the idea of him calling defensive plays. I do. If he wants to not do that in the future, all right, maybe. But as it sits right now, and he wants to establish the culture, establish his vision for this football team, I think it's best to ultimately call the defensive plays. I think Twitter might be down. I can't load anything. What did he say about upcoming free agents? They did not give anything away on that. They didn't really talk much about current players. They mentioned Tua and Quinn when asked about the quarterback position, but nothing instead of plans. Maybe it's just my desktop. But I like what I heard from Jeff Halfley and Jon-Eric Sullivan. I do. Big fan. Got a super chat from Corey Belfast. I don't know if we'll do a mailbag here, Jack. We'll just answer some super chats here, and then we'll probably sign off on today's show, let you get to the stuff you need to do, and let everybody move on with the rest of your day. But appreciate everybody hanging out with us here. It was a fun stream, man. Fun stream, even though we weren't speaking for most of it. Seeing Jeff Halfey and Jon-Eric Sullivan introduce themselves to Dolphins fans for the first time publicly and live, seeing what you guys had to say in the chat during that and after. It's been very entertaining. But Corey with a 5, how long do you think Hafley will take to settle into his new position? I don't think long at all. I think you saw today in the way he spoke a confidence that can't be shaken. He's very confident in himself. He's confident in the way he coaches, in his principles, and his background, his upbringings. I believe that when he was talking about accountability, the ability to talk to players on an emotional level, but preach toughness and coach them hard, that gave me a lot of confidence. It gave me a lot of confidence. I'm very excited. I am very, very excited. Very excited. I tweeted this out as well. I think it's a very underrated part of it. Jack, you can call it as well here. You don't know this, Jack, but because I don't think you watched the press conference. Mike McDaniel, when answering questions from the media, would always be looking down. Would be unsure of how to answer things. A lot of ums, a lot of buts, right? What did Jeff Halfley do when responding to reporters' questions? Direct eye contact. No matter who was asking, whether it's David Furones, whether it was Chris Perkins, whether it's other reporters out there, he would look them directly in the eye while sitting down the entire time. And when you watch some of his press conferences in Green Bay, he would do that every time they spoke on Thursdays. That's when they speak to coordinators. So even just the little things of looking the reporter directly in the eye and answering his questions, so you know that what you are getting in an answer is truly the belief from that person. It's just the little things that, to me, inspire more confidence and give me the idea that Hafley is going to be a much better leader for this team and locker room organization as well that we have not seen over the last 4 years. I don't want to keep on throwing shots at Mike McDaniel, but it's truly something I believe is important. Leadership, accountability, knowing you're not getting some answer that isn't the truth. And I'm not saying Mike McDaniel ultimately wasn't giving players in the organization and media members the truth and truthful answers. But when you look down and you asked about Tua's struggles over the last month, and he's looking down saying, yeah, Tua hasn't played as well as he could have. We're evaluating everything. But Tua's our quarterback for this week. We'll evaluate from that point. That's a much different way of answering something than looking someone in the eye and saying, yeah, Tua hasn't played well. There's no doubt about that. We're currently still evaluating the quarterback position. But Tua's got to play better, and we know that. We've talked about it. He knows that. See how the difference is there in an answer? You get Hafley. You get what you see. He even talked about it. He wears his emotion on his sleeve, and he's going to give it everything he's got. I'm excited. Listen, the audio is terrible because that's the Miami Dolphins live stream. We were just live streaming from their site. That was not us. So if you have issues with the audio and the live stream of the press conference, go blame the Miami Dolphins. It's not us. We're just drawing from them. Yeah, JRB mentions that I've seen it now. When the feed got cut off, he was just saying thank you to the support staff. I don't know what could be not appropriate of that. I don't know, but that is how it ended. Appreciate everybody for hanging out with us here on this Thursday morning and early afternoon. It's a new day in Miami. New day. Jeff Halfley announces in head coach. Jon-Eric Sullivan announces GM. We will have a video out relatively soon about the takeaways from their press conference. So be on the lookout for that. If you're one of the 460 people watching that haven't subscribed, please subscribe because we bring you 2 videos every single day, and we'll continue to do that this entire offseason into the next season where hopefully new Miami Dolphins football begins. Appreciate everybody for hanging out with us. Appreciate Jack for helping us out with today's live show. Really appreciative. You're the man for that. We'll see you later with another video. Go Fins.